to do this week before we go into talking about transitioning humanitarians live on the podcast. And the reason why I wanted to do this and deliver to you so urgently, so immediately, is because I keep hearing this blockage that we keep having in our minds, and the blockage of I don't know. And I've been speaking about it so many different ways. And I thought that I still need to find another way to convey my message because I keep seeing so many of my dear humanitarians are being stuck or feeling trapped because they keep telling themselves that they don't know. And and I was thinking what else I could say or how else I could show this to all of you, that knowing the answer is within us and not somewhere else, or not someone else telling us what the answer is. So I'm just also so amazed how we humanitarians tend to go to the most dangerous places on earth, figuring out the most unthinkable things that are not in any of the manuals, and we figure out how to help a camp full of people, refugees, for instance, right? Or people coming on the border and trying to figure out how to help them in the way that we know how, or setting camps, or talking to militia groups, or talking to warlords, or whoever. We know that we don't know how to do that, but we still go and figure things out. But when it comes to our own lives, and when it comes to transitioning, or when it comes to what we really want, we just keep telling ourselves that we don't know. And this is what I really want you to think about in terms of when you have this, I don't know the answer to this. I really wanted to give you a couple of ways to think about that I'm hoping will help you move forward in your blockage. Because when we just say, we keep saying to ourselves, I don't know, we just stay in the confusion, right? So we will not know. We will also stay in the feeling stuck place. We will not be doing anything because we just keep telling ourselves that we don't know. Or we keep telling ourselves that, oh, I don't know how to do it right. And therefore we just keep blocking ourselves. It's a very convenient way of keeping us where we are, where we don't want to, and still not enjoy the outcome of trying something new, something different, if we had allowed ourselves to know what we're doing or to find out what we're doing. So I just find that the biggest difficulty with I don't know statements is that I want you to think about is when we keep telling ourselves I don't know, we just keep abdicating responsibility to someone out there who should know, which we don't know, right? So we just don't take responsibility for finding out, figuring out, or learning the answer. Instead of doing any of this, we just like, I don't know, someone else must know, and I should find that person. Or another version that we tend to use so much is that I don't know that magic formula that someone else knows, and I need to go and find that, or I need to find that magic formula. Therefore, we continue abdicating responsibility to someone somewhere else instead of figuring out, or instead of like searching and looking inside of us. What if I did know, or what if I will find out how to do it. Or if I don't know, let me just decide this is how I'm going to do it and continue moving forward. Because another um, downside of we just keep being in this I don't know mode is not only abdicating responsibility, but also we just continue failing in advance ahead of time without really going through anything. We just then conveniently tell ourselves, well, you see, I knew that wouldn't work. Or you see, it's good that I didn't go for it because of XYZ. And then because we don't want to then see what happens after we fail, we're so afraid of that. We're so afraid of feeling whatever the emotion we don't want to feel if we failed, and therefore we just keep ourselves in the beautiful I don't know, and then we don't do anything about it. So, my dears, if you don't want to just feel stuck or feel in this uncertainty or feel like continuously telling yourself, I don't know, or I don't know how to do it right, or someone must know the answer, but I don't know. If you don't want to be in that situation, in that state, is here are the few things you can do. And I promise you, they will move you forward, at least getting you out of that feeling stuck, feeling trapped mode, and getting you out of this abdicating responsibility or not wanting to fail mode and getting into the action. So, one of the first things you can do is, what would you be doing if you knew how to do or what to do? What are the next things you would, next steps you would be taking? Right? That's one of the things. If you knew what it would be, if you guessed it, what would that be? Another second way you can do it is you can ask yourself, if you did know what to do and you start changing things, what would you be afraid of? Probably your brain is afraid of failing, your brain is afraid of losing everything, your brain is afraid of something bad about to happen. And what is it that you're afraid of if you knew the answer? Right? And then get curious about that. Because as long as you keep fearing that worst case scenario, you will just keep yourself in this I don't know mode. And the third thing you can do is, what if you trusted yourself to know the answer or to figure out, find out the answer? What if you trusted yourself to make a decision about, this is how you're going to go, even if you don't know the answer, that you're magically, like you're thinking magical thing out there that needs to happen? What if you trusted yourself to make a decision about knowing the answer and going for it? How would that look like? Right? So as soon as we just don't experiment, as soon as we don't keep like learning and figuring things out and finding out how we could do this, how this could be working, and start experimenting, as soon as we're not doing it, that means that we're just so um, um, giving in to our fears and we're not willing to risk anything. And as soon as long as we're not willing to risk anything, that means we're just not inviting our trust to say, let me figure out, let me find out how to do, let me find out what are the ways to do. And the last thing I want you to think about the I don't know is, imagine if you did know and you moved forward and you got the result you wanted or the life you wanted, the thing you wanted, how you could be already now enjoying that outcome. You could be now enjoying the outcome of what you wanted. For instance, if the goal was to live the life where you have more time for yourself, or if the goal is to have more money so that you're not worried about the money all the time, whatever the goal is in the end of that, I don't know, right? If you remove that blockage, what is the goal that you could achieve? And you would be now enjoying that now. And how would that feel like? And once you feel that, once you feel this feeling of you not worrying about money, or you not worrying about not spending time with your family members or loved ones, if you're not worried about fulfillment and all this because you feel fulfilled and you feel in peace within, or if you like you're already experiencing feeling confident in what you're doing and how you're doing, imagine you feeling that already now, right? When you feel that, and then you look back and see how you remove that blockage of I don't know, how you would be happy for having done that, how you would be happy that thankfully I did that. Thankfully, I allowed myself to know the answer. I allowed myself to know the answer within me instead of looking outside for someone else or waiting for someone else to give me the magic formula. Instead, I created my own magic formula. Imagine how your like confidence level would be boosted, how your trust would be boosted, how you will be starting to think, that means I can figure out everything else with someone or on my own, but I can figure it out. And that knowing of, I know how to figure things out, or I know how to learn things, or I know how to get myself out of that I don't know and into action that I want. I know how to get myself to the goal that I want to eventually have or ultimately have. And I know how to not delay that goal because I also know how it feels and I want to feel that already now without delaying. That's really what I really want to invite you to work on instead of just fixating on, I don't know, or I don't know how to do it right. Because we can keep fixating in the I don't know for as long as needed, but as long as we just keep being afraid of the changes, as long as we keep being afraid of not trusting ourselves, then I don't know, we'll just continue. As long as we keep fearing of failing in the end, then I don't know, we'll continue because that's just our brain's convenient way of convincing ourselves to say, well, you don't know, so how are you going to go? Which ways are you going to go? Right? So that's why, what if you allowed yourself not to entertain, I don't know anymore, but instead, how do I want to figure out? What are the ways I can learn? What are the ways I can decide to say, this is the answer I'm choosing? This is my answer. If I were really trusting myself, how would I really answer this question and how would I move forward? What are the ways that I'm going to move myself out of I don't know into knowing so I can keep working on the goal? Because I don't want to wait to feel that confidence anymore. I don't want to wait to feel that peace anymore. I don't want to wait for being with my family or spending more time with my family. I don't want to wait for the time when I really am abundant with money or with time, right? I don't want to wait for it anymore because I want to experience it now. And in order to experience now, if the cost is just to figuring out what how to know or just to figure out and remove this I don't know blockage so I can move forward, then I'm going to work on it to figure out today. Right? This is really the mindset I'm inviting you to apply and start using, because then it's so useful instead of just keep using that flag of I don't know so that we just don't need to do anything about it. And because we're in the end wanting to feel that fulfillment, we're wanting to feel that success, we're wanting to feel that balance, we're wanting to feel that um, abundance. We're wanting to feel that we can spend as much time with our loved ones or create families as much as we want. And we can't just keep waiting for those things to happen and just keep focusing on the things that don't make much movement anyway. So if you don't want to wait for those experiencing those feelings for yourself for your life, then it's time to start working on removing that blockage. And I would love to invite you to come to coach with me so that we can start working on it so that we no longer focus on that, but rather on what are we going to do after you have figured it out, after you have you know the answer or you decide this is the answer, and then start working on it and seeing what happens in the end. That's why, my dears, come work with me. I would love to help my humanitarians who are so amazing at figuring out the most unthinkable things. I'm trusting you will also figure out what to do with I don't know and how to move forward. And I would love to help you in this journey. Thank you so much. Have a beautiful week. Talk to you tomorrow.